Okay, everyone, this is the spoiler review for Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. I just got back from the movie a couple hours ago. I really had to think about this one, about what I liked, what I didn't like. If you saw my non-spoiler review, I did say that last year with The Force Awakens, I was a little shell-shocked by it, in a good way. And I kind of gave this gut-wrenching reaction to it, and that was my review. Looking back, I would probably give the movie like a 9 out of 10 instead of the 10 out of 10 that I gave it. But so that's why I kind of wanted to give some time with Rogue One, let it seep in, let me think about it, talk about it with friends and family and stuff. And boy, do I like this movie. There's a lot to like. There's some things I was not super into, but we'll talk about that in the next number of minutes. Here's my list of stuff. I'm going to start with some pros, talk about some cons in there, things like, didn't like. So let's get started. First off, I like the names of the planets. During the film, and this is a new thing for Star Wars, they say the name of the planet, like down here in the corner. I liked that. I really liked that. It was new, it was different, and I felt like that was something that it was new, and I liked it. I liked that they did it. Honestly, I personally would like if they continue to do that, even in the regular saga films, because I think you need that. Because sometimes they don't even tell you what planet they're on. Like, um, unless I would have looked it up, I didn't really know what planets other than Jakku. A lot of the stuff was going on in Force Awakens, so I would have liked that in Force Awakens. So there you go. I mean, I would like to know what planets we're going on because they don't always necessarily say, "Hey, we're going to such and such planet." I like that they showed that in the film. It was new, different. I liked it. The opening, the opening of the movie. While I was not a super big fan of there not being a crawl, I think this movie actually definitely needed one, especially because I read the book Catalyst. It needed an opening crawl so people would understand the relationship between the Ursos and Orson Krennic. And the timeline that this was taking place in, I think it would have helped. Maybe some narration over some scenes would have helped. I don't, something. They could have done something. It didn't need to be a crawl. It could have been just narration over some scenes or photos or whatever. They could have done something a little different. Um, I like that there wasn't a crawl, but at the same time, I thought there should have been one. And the title of just Rogue One, like coming into frame and everything, it didn't look great. It wasn't pretty, but I would have liked them to use the Rogue One, a Star Wars story thing that was in the trailers. I would have rather have them use that instead of just Rogue One, because it never says Star Wars in the entire movie. And if you didn't know, then there you go. I just think that that's minor stuff, minor little things, and it happened. They're very quick. Um, they're very quick little things. So there you go. I mean, I enjoyed a majority of the movie, mind you. Oh, the characters were really good. I like that the characters didn't need all this development. And yes, all of our heroes and our villain, Orson Krennic, die in this film, as most people thought they would. Um, but they were all heroic deaths, and I liked that. I liked that they didn't have Diego Luna and Felicity Jones kiss at the end. They could have had them kiss and hold each other as the atomic wave of the blast was coming towards them. It was weird editing at the end where it's like she fades out, then he fades out, but like he fades out like a split second later and he opens his eyes right as the blast hits them. So it would have been better if it was really quick. Instead, they decided to kind of slow it down. It was kind of weird. It was an odd editing choice, but that's whatever. No one's going to notice that. Um, but outside of that, I loved all the characters. I thought the characters were really, really well put together. Um, Jyn Erso was a fleshed out character. Not all the characters were super fleshed out, but I didn't need that. They were basic archetypes of who they are. And I liked that. I thought that overall it was really, really well put together. The characters that return from other Star Wars films, and a few return from the prequels, they're well represented. They're very well represented, and I really like that, whether it be Vader, who's in the movie for 2 scenes, but boy are his 2 scenes awesome. And it's like Spider-Man. I equate it to Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War. He's in two scenes. One of him being Spider-Man and one of him being Spider-Man. One of him being Peter Parker and the other being Spider-Man. Swinging around doing all this stuff. With Darth Vader, in this, there's a scene with him talking to Orson Krennic. And then there's a scene of him being a complete badass. I mean, like, he wrecks shop in this movie, and it is awesome, and I loved it. The breathing. I was going to say this for last, but oh well. You just see this darkness, you hear the breathing, and then you see the lightsaber turn on, and you're just like... I was sitting in my chair just like, oh my goodness. And then like when the lightsaber came on, I'm like... I didn't want to like raise my hands up, but I was like, oh my god. Like, I was like, oh my god. And then and then they start shooting at him. He's like, oh my god. And then the coolest shot in all that, like he throws the guy up top, throws him to the ground, throws guys against each other, lifts them up, chokes them, throws it. And then there's a guy like up against the door. He's like, here's the plan. And he slips the plans through the door. And then like you see this just lightsaber go right through the guy and pull the door open. And it's just like, oh, that's awesome. It was so cool to see that. And like, I know people want to see an entire Darth Vader movie. No, that's perfect. Darth Vader is great when he's used in moderation, in my opinion at least. He's great when he's used in moderation. I mean, that scene's like, what, a minute long? And it's golden. It's the best scene in the movie. And it's just, like, you could have easily have had, now Gareth Edwards, who also did Godzilla, could have done the easy thing. It's like, turns on the lightsaber and goes to black, and you hear all this screaming and everything, and end of movie. Glad they didn't do that. You actually see it, and it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And I love that about this movie. It shows you what you want to see. And it's great. And I loved it. Outside of that, the CGI. The CGI in this film, one, is incredible. It is incredible. First, Grand Moff Tarkin. Peter Cushing is no longer with us. You show that movie to somebody who didn't know that, they might think that's a real person. And it's a completely CGI character. Over top of an actual actor. But... oh, wow. I mean, I saw that. I heard about it before the movie. I had heard about Tarkin's in the movie. Or there's a CGI character in the movie. I'm like, alright, it's got to be Tarkin. He fit perfectly into the story and everything. And the voice was good. I liked the voice was good. I think some of it they did rip right from A New Hope, because there's a moment he says, well, you can make fire when ready. Or whatever. He says that or something. And I think they kind of ripped that or kind of blended it with the actor who was portraying the voice. It looked good. That's some of the best CGI I've ever seen. And the best CGI in this movie. The two Star Destroyers colliding. It was so good. It looked like models, but it was so gorgeous. It looked great. A lot of the creature designs looked really good. I mean, like, there's like one little gripe of CGI in this movie, and like it's Princess Leia's forehead kind of like shuddered. Like Princess Leia didn't look great at the end of the movie. That's like my one gripe. But even then, I was like, that's Princess Leia. And you see her for like 2 seconds and the movie's over. And you're just like, yes, let's go watch A New Hope. It's awesome. It's so good. The musical score. Now, I know a lot of people on the Collider Jedi Council Facebook page have mentioned the score isn't that great. And a lot of people that are reviewing the movie say, the musical score isn't that great. I think it's serviceable. It's good. It's not as memorable as any of the other scores in the series. I think Force Awakens has a better score. Like Rey's theme and the Poe Dameron and all the other themes, Kylo Ren's theme. A lot of those themes are better. But this has some good tunes to it. Nothing's memorable. They do bring back the Imperial March occasionally. It's used sparingly. And and I heard it said that it's like it plays like three notes that you know, and then like the fourth note's different, and it just goes in like this. It's like it like goes off on a tangent or something, and like it's the score you know, and then it goes off, and then it's the score you know, and it goes off. So it's different, and I liked it. I liked it, and this is just a first viewing thing. It might grow on me. I might not like it later on. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see as I see the movie a few more times in theaters and eventually on Blu-ray, which I cannot wait to own this movie on Blu-ray because then I can watch A New Hope right after it. Because the way it ends is incredible with the ship going off. You see Leia, she's got the plans. He's like some now we have hope or whatever, and it's like bam, so good. Tarkin was great. I loved Krennic. The Ursos. I was just thinking about that. I'm like, man, it's a tragic story of these people. If you read Catalyst, man, these people have gone through a lot. And it's such a tragic story. And then, like, this is the end. The end of the movie, man. I mean, is great. And the first act of the movie is really good. The second act of the movie, really good. The third act of the movie is something out of a Star Wars fan fiction that's just all action, but it's great. But it's great. Like, it's not like... It's something that's straight out of a video game. It's like, this is exactly what we wanted. A war Star Wars film, a gritty Star Wars film. And we got it. And we got it. And it's great. I loved it. I love the feel, the tone, the direction, the cinematography. Everything about it was really, really well put together. The best space battle I've seen. Empire Strikes Back's got a pretty good space battle. I'm sorry, Return of the Jedi's got a really good space battle. But, I mean, this one's really good too. I mean, they're both really good. You get the Hammerhead ship in there, and it's like pushing the Star Destroyer into the other Star Destroyer, and they crash into the thing. Really awesome stuff. I love the way they use the Death Star. The Death Star actually seemed very imposing, very ominous, and the movie felt like that Vader scene felt like a horror movie. And it was awesome. It was awesome. I loved it. There were a few lines of cheesy dialogue, I thought, but nothing that took me out of the movie, and that usually doesn't happen. Like the Darth Vader has like a choking line where he's like force choking Orson Krennic, and I'm like, okay, it's okay. What else? Yeah, it felt good. Like the movie was just really, really good. The one thing that I'm like, wow, this is a war movie. There's a street fight on Jeddah, in the city and everything, which that felt like, I heard somebody say, it felt like if George Lucas could have made Mos Eisley complete the way he wanted it, it was Jeddah. It was the city in Jeddah. That's exactly what Mos Eisley would have felt like. I loved the cities in this movie. They felt contained. They felt crammed. It was really well executed. Everybody looked gritty. There's even a shot in the movie of a stormtrooper sitting in like a vehicle, and he's just like, he's just kind of sitting there like this, and he's like all dirty and everything. I'm like, that dude's been through. That's a person underneath that. That's not a CGI character. That's a person, and I loved it. It was so good. And there's a shot of a little girl, like in the middle of this like street fight, and she's crying, and she's like, Mom. She's looking like for her mom or whatever, and I'm just like, well, this is like straight out of a war movie. It was so good. I cannot wait to see this movie again. It's not as good as Empire Strikes Back. It does have some flaws, and I think it's a little slow at certain parts. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it needs to be slow at parts so it ramps up the action near the end, and at certain points it ramps up the action. I think it needed that. Overall, I'm giving this movie a 9.5 out of 10. It's great. I liked it more than Force Awakens, even though I love Force Awakens. I gave that movie a 9 out of 10. Really good movie. I really, really like it. I can't wait to see it again. I can't wait till I get the Blu-ray and I can watch that Darth Vader scene like 30 times in a row, or like parts of this movie to really. I didn't catch all the things. I felt like some of the cameos were really well placed, like Jimmy Smits, and I love that they used some footage from A New Hope. For the X-Wing pilots. That was great. I loved that. That was fantastic. I did really like this movie. It was great. I can't wait to see it again. Again, there we go. That's my spoil. That's my thoughts. I might even make another video on it because after I see it again, because I loved it. It was really, really well put together, and it ties in really well to the rest of the Star Wars series. So again, guys, 9.5 out of 10 for me. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too, if obviously you saw it, because you're watching this video, and this is a spoiler review, guys. So there you go. Again, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm going to have to go see it again. But as for me, Andrew, the College Critic, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.